Welcome to the Thriving Immigrant Podcast with Paul Adeyeye. This is where we share powerful stories of resilience, reinvention, transformation, and success. So, whether you're a new immigrant, navigating a new life, or an aspiring entrepreneur looking for inspiration, this podcast is for you. Join me as we dive into real conversations with incredible individuals who have turned challenges into opportunities. Let's learn, grow, and thrive together. Cheers to a life of abundance. Welcome to another episode of the Thriving Immigrant Podcast. My name is Paul Adeyeye, and I'm so excited to do this again. It's something that gives me so much joy. Before I introduce my guest, I've got an exciting news. So, last week, I got a random email from someone who is a CEO of Feed Sports, and the email says, "Hey, congratulations, Paul. The Thriving Immigrant Podcast is now one of the top podcasts that people listen." From a random email from someone who is a CEO of Feed Sports, and the email says, "Hey, congratulations, Paul. The Thriving Immigrant Podcast is now one of the top podcasts that people listen to in Canada. In fact, is the number 6 of podcasts when it comes to immigration niche in Canada." And I was so excited. I was like, oh wow, so somebody knows that I'm doing something. And it gives me so much joy. I'm so grateful to God for the opportunity. But I'm so grateful to you for listening, for tuning in, because I couldn't have achieved this without your support. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to the Thriving Immigrant Podcast. And if you've been listening to me and you've not subscribed, please subscribe. If you're listening from maybe Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you're listening from, please hit that subscription button so we can continue sharing these powerful stories with the world and we can build a thriving community one day at a time. Thank you so much for your support. Now, to today's episode, I'm really excited about this one. I've got my brother from Cameroon. He's been in Canada for almost 20 years. He has a lot to share. He's a data scientist. He's an entrepreneur. He studied in Canada. He has done a lot in Canada. And at some point, he decided to start his own business. And what I love about his business is the fact that it's a business of people empowerment. He's empowering people, especially immigrants, showing them how they can transition into the tech industry. And not just the tech industry, one of the most important parts in the tech space. Join me in welcoming Kwankah Taka to the Thriving Immigrant Podcast. Welcome, Kwankah.
Thank you, Paul. I'm so excited, man. So excited to be here and to share my story and to have a convo with you. It's amazing. It's amazing stuff that you do. You know, I saw your announcement, top 6 immigration story. Man, that is killing it, man. Congrats on that. That's a major win. So proud of your journey.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kwankah.
Yeah.
You know, when we started talking, I would think Kwankah is Nigerian. It sounds so much Nigerian, but the name, I'm just curious. And Nigeria is a big country, so chances are maybe Kwankah is from Nigeria. But I now learned that you are from Cameroon.
Yeah.
So, can you please walk us through your immigration journey? How did you find yourself in Canada?
Yeah, no, it's I do. A lot of people that sound like Nigerian. To be fair, I spent a lot of time with Nigerians when I moved here. I moved here very young, almost at 18. But some people say my name and think Ghanaian too, right? They say Kwankah Taka. They're like, are you Ghanaian? I always get a Ghanaian vibe, Chale, and I have to remind them that no, actually, it's Cameroon. But no, my journey has been interesting, right? I moved. I did 7 years in boarding school. I went to a mission boarding school in Cameroon, PS and Squen, Presbyterian Mission Boarding School. And then I did my advanced level. So I think you have it's called JAX in Nigeria. So I did my advanced level. I did like a 1-year university. And that year university, I was looking now to apply for universities in Canada. So my parents were really supportive in this one. Like, shout out to my parents. They really helped me out because I was fairly young, like 17, 18, looking to leave the country, come to Canada on my own. And we applied to a number of universities, right? We applied to Alberta, we applied to Saskatchewan, Concordia, Miguel. And at the time, Saskatchewan was a lot cheaper than the rest, right? So like almost like 10K cheaper a year than the
Mm,
rest. I know international students will pay triple what Canadians pay. So
correct.
you're looking like 40K a year. So that was a huge difference for us, right? So I immigrated in 2011. The goal was to come and study chemical engineering, get my bachelor's in chemical engineering. But the shock, man, I had no idea. You get the excitement that Canada, you're leaving Cameroon, you're going. I didn't have time to really process the difference. Like, oh my God, the shock in Canada was so different. The people, the culture, the weather, the weather. I live from a warm place, like hot place, into Saskatchewan too. It's not
Extreme
BC,
from
Saskatchewan.
extremely hot to an extremely cold.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was in Saskatchewan, and I did my bachelor's there. I was so lucky because there was a great Nigerian African community there. So we had a Cameroonian community, Nigerian community. I was one of the first Cameroonians undergraduates that I could see around. A lot of my classes, I was the only black, so that was new to me. I was so uncomfortable in a lot of my classes, and I really tried to engage with my teammates, like with my classmates, right? So I had to get out of my shell to really be friendly, to connect with people, to do assignments, all kind of stuff, group work. So it was very, very uncomfortable for me. But the African community, they really helped me to transition. Um, yeah, so I did that for 4 years. At some point, I stayed in residence for the first year. The next year, I moved out. I got an apartment. My first job in Canada was actually grounds. So I worked for the grounds department at the University of Saskatchewan. So
Okay.
like lawn mowing, cleaning, all that. $2,000 a month. That's my first paycheck. I was so excited when I got that.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So I did that, and then yeah. So I finished my bachelor's in engineering. Applied for jobs. Very tough job market. Was able to get into the construction industry. And then I got into oil and gas, and then I got into mining. At some point, I was in the Yukon, working in the mines, as an engineer. And then I transitioned into tech, data science, and then currently a decision scientist at Starbucks.
Wow.
So
What a journey. You sound to me like someone that is very driven and open-minded, right?
yeah,
Like you've done a lot in that 15 years in
yeah,
Canada,
yeah.
from engineering to mining, oil and gas, now to Starbucks as a data scientist.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I love your story. And I'm going to ask you, you've been here for 15 years. What has changed between the time you came in 2011 and now? Is there any significant change that you've seen in Canada?
A lot has changed. Like, I came under Harper. So during Harper's time, Harper was the prime minister. There was no off-campus work permit. So back in the day, you had to work on campus. Imagine all the international students that
What
are struggling financially looking for
for job
on-campus
on
work on
campus?
campus. So it was
Wow, very
competitive.
competitive.
It was competitive. So you're looking at washing dishes, you're looking at the like barista, any like all this, any job on campus was very competitive, right? And then now you go off campus to look for a job. Companies are not very sure about immigration policies. They don't know what. They're very nervous about hiring international students because they don't know
Hmm.
what it was, right? And when the government changed, when the Liberals came in, Trudeau came in, and he was like, and the government was like, know what? International students, they contribute so much money into our economy. We need to support them. So that change of Canada is one of the few countries that you come with a 4 years study permit and you have an automatic work permit. Oh my goodness. You can literally start working from the next day.
Hmm.
It used to be a process to get that off-campus work permit. Like
Wow,
you have to get a job offer signed by the employer. You apply for your off-campus. So that's like 3 weeks. That's just time wasted there. Then you start working,
interesting.
right? So that was the first big change, and I was like, wow, people are so lucky with this new policy because back then it was very very hard to get a job. Um, and then the people, I think with me, I realized that it is so easy to stay in your comfort zone. I always used to. I had a few tough, difficult moments while I was a student, right? I could not really understand the average Caucasian Canadian,
Hmm.
right? So I had tough interactions with them. So there's a bit of trust there. So I was trying to understand the culture, the people. Because back home we're direct. Paul, you did a good job. We'll tell you straight in your face. That doesn't work well in Canada, right?
Hmm.
If you're very direct that way, people don't like that very much, right?
Yeah.
There's a way that they want you to share feedback, and I had to learn it the hard way because I was having a hard time making friends, right? I was like, but I'm honest. I'm honest. I'm actually sharing my opinion about the project, but nah, it was tough. Canadians, I realized that Canadians, the young Canadians that were in my team, in my group around me at the time, it was very hard for them to fit in, right? So that's why I could easily fit in with my African community because they understand that, yeah, they're like, give it to me straight. They wanted that feedback, right? So, but I had to understand that it's all about delivery, right? It's no matter, yes, you know the truth, you want to express your feedback, but you have to deliver it well. So that's growing that I had to grow with, especially that if you're trying to integrate into the culture or into the country. I used to underestimate networking. Networking is huge. That has been
Hmm.
again. I always kick myself. Why didn't I know this earlier? Right, networking is huge in Canada. It's something that I know back home. You're thinking that it's an African thing, man, no man, no, it's everywhere. Networking is so important. So that's something that has really improved and changed for me. And the country has gone. The country has really struggled over the years, to be honest. Um, I've loved the immigration policies that the Liberals have done. It's been good bringing people in, different cultures, really diversify Canada, really increase the strength of Canada. But I think back then, as a student, when you get a job, for example, back in the day, if you lose a job, you can get a job the next week.
Hmm.
Now it's very tough,
It's
right?
very
Now
tough.
it's very
Yeah.
tough. And that is one of the biggest challenges that I've seen with students nowadays. They can't get something. Like back then, students would get job anytime, but now it's very, very hard for students to get jobs. And with the cost of living has just gone up. Like tuition is increasing, rent is increasing, everything's increasing, and there are no jobs for students to take care of their needs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's interesting that you talked about the employment or job opportunities in your time
yeah,
just for you only had on-campus opportunities.
yeah,
But now that we even have opportunities beyond campus, it looks like it's even tougher to get roles. Then
yeah.
the second point which you made that I really like is talking about adaptability. And it goes beyond just adapting to the weather, cultural adaptability. And I can relate with being blunt as an African man, but
Mm,
in this part of the world, not that you shouldn't be honest, but you should understand how to express your honesty.
mhm,
There's a lot of diplomacy that is expected.
mhm.
Not like you see white, you call it black, but your means of communicating really matters.
Yeah,
And nobody will tell you, you are going to learn it yourself.
yeah, yep, yeah.
Thank you. The new generation of international students cannot relate with the only on campus opportunities. They
Mhm,
cannot relate.
mhm,
So I think the struggle is just every generation has its own struggle. The struggle is just a little bit different. Yeah.
mhm.
Thank you. I'm really curious about how you transitioned into data sciences and how you found yourself in Starbucks. So, do you want to share a little bit about your career journey transitioning from engineering? Because engineering is a very, as far as I know, it is a lucrative field. So,
Yeah,
why data science? And how did you do that?
yeah. No, great question. I get this one. I get this one a whole lot. So I did chemical engineering in university. My dad always told me that. My dad used to tell me that, man, you're so passionate about business. Think about finance. But when you're doing so well in sciences back home, there are only two choices: doctor, engineer, doctor,
Doctor,
engineer.
engineer.
That's it, right? So in my mind, doctor, I did not like hospitals. I didn't like it very much. It felt like doctors get a lot of money, but they pay a lot of price for it. The time that it takes, like you have to, it's like a calling. Like doctor should be like a calling. Like you need to
Yeah.
love. The money is a good add-on, but is the love, is the caring, is that care? I didn't think I had that in me. So
Mm.
engineering just felt like the natural next choice. I love chemical engineering because I thought, it's chemistry. Because chemistry was my best science subject, right?
Interesting. I studied
So
chemistry too.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I did. I love chemistry so much, man. Organic chem was oof. A lot of people struggle with organic chem, but I was
Yeah.
loving it. I was loving it, right? And then I came over and I thought, oh, chemistry is all about chemical engineering is all about processing. So it was process engineering. So I did a lot of I did mining courses, I did oil and gas courses. I was able to approach companies that were doing like even food processing too. My mom has a food business back home, so that's where I kind of understood how you can take raw materials, process them into a finished product.
Mm.
That's process engineering. So I was like, wow, that's so cool. So it got me really passionate about that field of study. Um, and then I came here and now I have a challenge, right? I have a 40K student yearly tuition fee that I have to pay, right? One class, my dad is earning in CFA. So
Okay.
financially, that is very tough on him. And I told him that the best support I can give is to do my very best so that less money leaves Cameroon into Canada, right?
Mm.
So while I was studying like maybe September to May, in the summer months I'll do construction. So shout out to Shelcom Industries. They gave me my first off-campus construction job in
Wow. So
Saskatoon.
kind of them.
Yeah, yeah, like what I mean, like they gave my first construction job. Man, the way I worked so hard for that company, I worked in that company for like 4 summers, right?
Mm.
That's how much I love because of the opportunities over time. They could understand, okay, this guy, the way I was so passionate in my job, I became so good at that job. And at the end of my time, I had a good sit down with the CEO. He was like, Kwankah, in the last 4 summers that you're with us, right? I was able to make close to like 40K a summer to pay off my tuition,
Wow.
right? And he's like, you've become so good at this job. What about you do, we create a franchisee in BC for you. That was actually an offer on the table for me, right?
Wow.
After that, that we could have been, maybe we could have been doing Kwankah today if I had gone that route, right? But
Hmm.
I thought about it. I called my dad, called my friends, we spoke about it. I was young, I was like 24, 25. I was like 23, 25. Like, man, this is man. I could be my own business, my own boss, my own project. I can hire students. I can bring a lot of immigrants in. And then my dad was like, I understand, but you came here to be an engineer, right? We have invested so much money, so much money and time for
Hmm.
that career path, and you don't even know what that's going to be like for you, right? And I decided to turn down the opportunity and look for an engineering career, right?
Hmm.
So now I use somebody that has done any engineering summer. So a lot of my peers, my students, were doing engineering summer terms. I looked into those terms projects, like those summer jobs, engineering jobs, and they were not paying the money. They were paying like $20 an hour, 24, 25. That will not cut it for me. I needed a job that can give me $8,000 a month, right? So I wasn't thinking long-term engineering because maybe I could have sacrificed something, but hey, I didn't do that. So now I'm entering the engineering job market with no experience,
Hmm.
right? No experience. It was very, very tough. Man, when you sit there, all you have to do, you're applying jobs, you're applying for 40, 50, 60 jobs, you're getting love letters. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your interest. It was creeping. I started regretting. Man, maybe this is not meant for me. Maybe I should go do my construction business. What have I done? I can, but I said, you know what? I've invested close to $150,000 into my education for this thing.
Wow.
I
That's a lot
can.
of money.
That's a lot of money. That's my sweat. At the time, okay, you know what? And you have to for you to get PR, you have to get a job that is very similar to what you did in school. So that's another challenge too, right?
Hmm.
So I was able to get an engineering, like kind of supervision role, engineering role in the current company, Shecom, and I was able to use that to sponsor my PR, right? These guys were amazing, man. They really helped me a whole lot in Canada. So when I got my PR, I was like, you know what? It is time for me to leave Saskatoon, to leave Saskatchewan.
Leave
I
the
need,
cold city.
yeah, this is a city. It is time for me to get out there and really, even though I don't have a job, really put myself out there to get an engineering job, right? So I moved to Edmonton with an offer. So I moved to Edmonton, and now I'm in Edmonton, in Oil City. I started networking, started asking questions, started going on places, right? But again, I was still a fan of you apply and you pray, right? That's what we apply and thank God, you have not worked on your resume, you have not built you have not done all those other things that help you. But you apply and I was praying and it was not working out for me. And then one of my classmates became a manager. So he announced on LinkedIn, I'm happy to announce. I'm like, what? This guy just graduated the same thing. He's now a manager in an engineering company. This is crazy. So I called him. I was like, hey, Jason, how's it going? I told him, yeah, I'm going okay. I thought, bro, congratulations on your audition. I saw a job posting in your company. I think about my stories, my struggles. I'm trying to. Is it possible that you can put in a good word for me? He was like, yeah, sure, Kwankah. Hey, I know you. I know you very well. I can do that. He did that. The next day, the HR of the company asked me to send my resume. I was like, hold up. This is how
Just
it is
like
done
that.
here. Just like that. Hey, what have I been doing? That is when it clicked to me that, networking, half of the jobs that people get should networking. So I
Yeah.
was like, just like that. Wow. So now, because again, but now I don't have any experience with interviews, technical interviews, all kind of stuff. So I go through the interview stage, they look at me, and then, sadly enough, they send me another love letter. Kwankah,
Oh.
thank you for your interest. And then when I investigated, I was like, but guys, I thought I was really a good fit. So no, I thought I was good. They said, no, we don't think you're a cultural fit to our company. That's
That's
something
another
that
one.
that's another one. So I never knew about that. That's the whole thing, cultural fitness. So I didn't know. I just showed up. I just said whatever I had to say. And I was like, that really hit me hard. I called my friend. He was like, yeah, bro, I'm sorry that happened, but cultural fit, I don't get
So,
it too.
Kwankah, that your friend, where is he from? Did he
It's
come? Is he
it's
an
Canadian.
international? Was he an international student too at that point?
It's Canadian, born and
He's
raised.
Canadian. He's
Yeah,
more culturally fit than.
cultural fit, yes. So it's a
Okay.
white person, Canadian boy. He understood it very well. He got the job. We were friends in school, right? And when he told me that when I told him that cultural fit, like he kind of felt that, oh, well, I wish I coached you a bit more because actually cultural fitness is huge for companies here, which makes sense.
Hmm.
But at that time, I didn't understand. I was very resentful, so angry. So what do you mean? I did everything. I thought, when because you have a friend there, you start thinking that you start planning your life. You have already spent the first paycheck. You know what I mean. So it bumped me out. So now that I knew that networking was a thing, I started now asking my friends who are in companies, right?
Hmm.
I started saying, hey, can we meet for coffee? You know me now, brother. I'm trying to get into the field, that kind of thing. So I started talking to my friends, and then I spoke to one of my friends, and then he was so good at his job that the manager really trusted him. So an opening came up. He was like, you know what? If you think Kwankah is a really good fit, he's an amazing person, yeah, let's go for an interview, right?
Okay.
So that connection, that bond he had with his manager, I got the opportunity to talk to the manager, and he loved me. He saw the passion, he saw that this guy is so the energetic. He really wants to start his engineering career, and then I got the job. So I got the job. I was a materials engineer. I did that for a couple of years. It was a bit of traveling, so working oil pipeline sites, construction sites. I'll do some testing, I'll do some inspection, I'll do some reporting. So I did that for a couple of years, and then I saw an opportunity in the Yukon. Right. So this job I was in Edmonton, BC. I was traveling around, and then I saw an opportunity looking for a materials engineer EIT position in the Yukon White House. I was like, you know what? This could do well in my career. Maybe Yukon. Let me go into it. Let me look into it. I don't know. I don't know exactly why I went to the Yukon per se. People were like, all my friends were like, bro, Yukon? Man, why are you going to Yukon in your
I'm
20s?
really curious. I want to hear the Yukon story. So, how
Yeah.
many years did you spend in Yukon?
I was there for 2 years in Yukon,
Oh,
actually.
wow.
I was there for
What's
two
Yukon
years.
like?
Yukon is amazing. I'm telling you, sometimes when I reflect about my life, I think my life has been pre-Yukon and post-Yukon.
Hmm. Okay.
Because in Yukon, the people there, the culture there is different from what you're used to in the rest of Canada,
Hmm.
right? It's more laissez-faire. It's more nature. So, for example, you can be at work with your boss and be like, hey guys, let's go for lunch randomly. Right? There's no that corporate, even if it, because their corporate office will be in Toronto, Calgary, but the outpost, the,
Right.
the, the branch there is not, you don't get that corporate vibe. It's very relaxed because that's the culture of the whole province, of the whole
City,
place.
the whole
Yeah. Or
province,
the whole
right?
city. So people, because you have people like, because you have a lot of explorers, people from BC coming in, people going through Yukon to go to Alaska. So you have a lot of tourists. People are just, it's just an amazing place for me. And it's a bear country. So you can be hiking, you can go for a hike and see a bear randomly. So it's their country. We are just living in it. So, so yeah, that's how the Yukon is. So when you
Okay.
come to Yukon, the first thing they recommend, get bear training. Right, actually understand because you're going to interact with the bear. Because
Interesting.
you can actually leave your house in the evening to go like maybe go and throw your garbage and then you see a bear in your trash. Easily, easily. That's how the place is. And but what Yukon gave to me, Yukon gave me a time to really reflect. There's no
Hmm.
partying, there's no clubbing, there's no all these kind of distractions all around. There's a lot of nature, there's a lot
Hmm.
of bonding, hiking, all this stuff. So it gave me time to reflect on my life. And I just felt different person when I came back from the Yukon. Right. So we had a mining project there. And what really happened to me is that I was in this 3 weeks on, 1 week off and I was in this project in the mines, and it was tough. It was very tough for me. Like it was good. It was exciting work. I loved it. You know, I was in the best shape of my life because now, you know, I get up. I sleep at 9. You know, get up at 4. I go to the gym. I eat breakfast. Enter a bus to the mine, do the work. So I came back to that boarding school routine.
Hmm.
So I was fit, you know, I was feeling like it was annoying though because you're sleeping on a tiny bed, you know, that singles bed, you know, you have your
Right.
tiny TV, small desk. Oh my God, that was the thing that's annoying about it. But it was amazing. And then on my week off, I'll fly to Calgary, meet my friends, go to Edmonton, and then fly back for 3 weeks. Then one of my very close friends was getting engaged, right? There's somebody that I've known since Saskatoon. I've been friends for more than a decade. I literally was there when they started the relationship. And he called me, was like, bro, you're the first I'm telling you. I think it's time for me to bend the knee. I think it's
Hmm.
time for me to, put that ring, as my guy, I would like for you to be there. um, Unfortunately, the proposal date was in my 3 week shift in the Yukon, right?
Okay.
So I go to my boss. I'm like, hey boss, look, my boy is getting married, man. I need to be there to support him. I want to be. And my boss is like, I understand. The Kwankah would have nobody to cover your shift,
Hmm.
right? And if you go like that, you might not. We are going to be a problem. It's going to be difficult for us to cover your shift. So really think about it. So in a kind of way, it was almost like if you go
You're on your own.
you're on your own, you might not return. He didn't say
Hmm.
that, but that's how I perceived it, right? And I call my boy. I'm saying, hey, bro, hey, I can't make it, and I couldn't get time off that I wanted and I'm sorry I can't make it, and I hope you understand. Man, as my guy, you understood, but I felt so bad. I felt terrible. I felt terrible that I wasn't there. At that time, so I was dating. So my girlfriend was in Calgary, so was a whole mess because you see me like maybe 4 times a month. You know, when I fly in, the first 2 days I'm tired. We'll do something. The next 2 days I'm flying back out.
Flying back.
It was tough for me. The life was tough. So that feeling that I got, the relationship failed. I couldn't attend my friend's
Hmm. So
engagement.
sorry.
That was when I said enough is
Is
enough.
enough.
Yes, I'm earning good money in the Yukon. Yes, life is good, but enough is enough. This is not the life that I thought I designed for myself. This is not the life that I thought I would have in Canada. This is not the life that I really want for myself. What can I do so that I never miss this kind of special moment again?
Hmm.
I decided then that I needed to change my career. Now I started investigating. Okay, I'm good with sciences, possibly I looked around. So good options are coming up. Cybersecurity, right? Um, Scrum Master, which that was the list of them because I'm not a very, I don't like Scrum. I don't like the idea of Scrum Master. Project management, as an engineer, you're doing projects. So
Yeah.
naturally that could seem like a fit. Finance. So you know what? Hey, this is a chance. You love finance, you love business. How about go to get a finance, get CFA, get a finance training, go back to school finance. So and then data science. Now, I think at the time it was called, well, the word was not very used at data science. It was statistics something something. Right?
Okay.
Statistics,
Or
yeah, that
data
was the word.
analytics.
Data analytics, or maybe it was information something. It was not very popular as data science, data analytics, right? It was data
Hmm.
analytics, but you won't see the lot like that. My dad had mentioned to me about it when I was still in when I was finishing school. He was like, there's something coming about data science, but I brushed it off that. No, 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 I don't think I'm interested in that stuff. I hate coding. I didn't like coding, right? I did one course, Excel VBA, and it stressed me out a whole lot. So I knew that coding is not my thing.
Mm.
So I said, what? I looked into the job, data science. One of my friends, I reached out to one of my friends on Instagram that was a data scientist. I was like, bro, what? I'm thinking about cybersecurity, Scrum Master, project management, data science, data analytics. And he's like, Kwankah, you know what? Based on the way you think, the way you talk, and your passion for business, I think data science is a better fit for you.
Mm.
And he explained me what he did for a job. I was like, man, that's so cool. Yeah, you know how we make companies smarter, we do all these amazing models, all this stuff. Like, damn, it's okay. No, what? Okay.
Let's
Let me
do
look into it.
it.
Let's do it. So in my mind, of course, as an immigrant, African immigrant, the natural default is more school, master's program. That's your
Mm.
natural wiring. Get master's program. So okay, so I started looking at master's program. Maybe look at U of C, look at Toronto. Look at Miguel. Now I can get student loans. Now there's money for that. I'm like, okay, let me now get a good program. I said, but before I do that, let me call my friend again. I said, Bo, I said that you have a master's program in this thing in before as a master program in data science and you're working for this company. How was the program? So don't mind that nonsense. I said, what do you mean don't mind? Man, I spent 40K for this master's program. And when I got the job, I still had to get boot camps because guess what? The technical training wasn't enough. It was not very
Yeah.
practical enough for the job. So I was like, bro, I spend money on the master's program. Yes, it's good on the paper. It's good to have it. You make your parents proud. You get a bit of ego from it. But the
It's
job
good for
itself,
self-actualization,
yes.
but the job itself needs technical skills.
Skills. Yeah. So it was like, and the best way to get it is through is a boot camp or like a
Yeah.
really, really project-based curriculum training.
Hmm.
He advised me that I know that your body is telling you to do a master's, but you don't need it. Do this boot camp that I did. This boot camp that I did is a 9 months boot camp, but I will mentor you. I will coach you in that so that you focus on the key things that you need to know
Hmm.
before before you grad. You don't have to do the full 9 months boot camp. I said, really? I said, yes. So okay, I was like, you know what, man, Bedbo, I'm working. So you don't quit your job. That's because if you do masters, you have to quit your job. Now you're losing money. The opportunity cost. You're not earning money, and then you're getting student
True.
loans, blah blah. So keep your job, but that the time that you're probably watching Netflix, replace that time with studying. So you're still gonna do your, maybe your 9 to 5, but then you're back from your camp. You're relaxing. Between 6 and 9, that's the time that I'll be watching Netflix or calling. All right. So I replaced that 6 to 9 to study.
Hmm.
So I go into the boot camp. I started studying. It was so stressful because
Of
my
course.
job was draining. The environment was not very because people when they do camp work, right? When they're done work or done supper, they go and do games. They do games. They do ping pong. They connect because they want to because it's the way the environment is, right? You have to find ways just for your mental health, just to do stuff. But I couldn't do that anymore because now I had to study, right? So I was studying. I was studying for, I was studying for my for the boot camp, and then my mentor was coaching me. Hey, okay, how was this problem? We're going through coding stuff together, and then sometimes I'll give up. Sometimes I was like, bro, man, maybe this is not it for me. Man, it's so stressful.
Hmm.
And then he will remind me, why are you doing this? You wanted to have more
Freedom.
money, more freedom, work-life balance. You don't want to miss any other anniversary, any other important family thing ever again. You
Hmm.
wanted that access, that remote access. You want to work anywhere. You want to go to Cameroon now. That is why you're doing it.
The
Why are you giving
importance
up?
of why. Knowing your
Why?
why.
Knowing your why. He reminded me that of okay, I'll go back in. And then I'll get discouraged again, and then he'll show me his paycheck. I say, hey! I say, okay, no,
No, no, no. We must
yeah,
continue.
you just continue. So the guy really not to motivate me, right? He really not to motivate me. And and within 3 months, he told me, Kwankah, you have done Excel, SQL, Python, machine learning. We have, yes, I've not done all of it. Expert, you have done the key things that you need to know. I think you're job ready. You don't have to be 100%. You're never 100% in the job market. Once you get 60%, 70%, you are good enough to start
Already.
competing. You are ready. You are ready enough to go. I said, no, I said, bro, you are. You are. So the thing that I started doing now, because I was studying and because now I needed experience, right? I didn't have one. So what I started doing is I started applying my skills in my current job. So maybe I started doing like reporting. Now I started doing a lot of reporting. Now I started applying some Tableau. Hey, I said, hey, boss, maybe we should report this
Hmm.
on a Tableau dashboard, right? Because we're doing like Excel reporting, email reporting, and then all this data that we report from the mind, let's put it on a Tableau dashboard, right?
You
So
were
I started
doing
applying
internship
in
unconscious. You were doing
unconscious,
internship unconsciously with your
yes,
existing company.
in
That
existing
makes
company.
sense.
Yeah. So I was doing
Wow.
that, and then my friends had businesses. So I had a friend who had a clothing line. I had a friend at a grocery store. My mom had a food company in Cameroon.
Okay.
So I like, here's an opportunity to apply some of these
What you've
data skills.
learned.
Yeah, what I learned. So I helped my friend with his marketing campaign. I did a model to tell him how to improve his marketing ROI. For the grocery store, I helped my friend to create an inventory database for him
Oh,
to to
wow.
to to see,
At no
like,
cost.
at no cost. I wanted to,
But you
to
were
practice
applying
the
your
skills.
knowledge.
Yes. And then for my mom's business, I helped to organize, the just like the sales metrics to track KPIs. Oh, you don't hear those things back home, right? People are so like I introduced KPI measurements, sales targets, weekly reports, all those kind of money things that is really ignored by a lot of small businesses back home. So it was like amazing. So now these are the skills, these are what I use on my resume. So when I
Hmm.
went to interviews now, they're like, you know what, Kwankah, you don't have 5 years experience I'm looking for.
What
And
have you
my
done?
gosh, what have you done? And I'm like, hey, this is what I've done. I've helped my current job. I have this, but I've also helped businesses with certain with their data problems, with that insights and recommendations. And they were like, wow, you know what? You actually get what data science is, what data science is, because actually it's all about making us smarter, the organization. So how we use
Hmm.
data to interpret it, to analyze it, to make smarter decisions. And they were like, and then my references now were actually CEOs. You know what? We were struggling with this project. Kwankah came in, built an inventory dashboard. Now our productivity have gone up the roof. So
Oh,
when you get
wow.
that kind of feedback from people that I've helped, an employer will take a chance on you. So
True.
yeah, so the first opportunity I got, this employer here in Calgary, he called a couple of references. He gave me a good chance. I worked in the company for a couple of years. I'd really learned my trade in that company. I did more projects on the site. So that was the future of what I was thinking I'm going to be, right?
Hmm.
I'm going to be, because I really love helping businesses, right, to really make smarter decisions. Because I'm very business oriented. So I did that for a couple of years, and then one time I was just going through LinkedIn, and then I saw data scientists needed at Starbucks. So,
Okay.
I said, hey, man, am I ready? I don't have any experience. I've never done retail. I've never done anything like that. Like, I have no retail experience. Like I'm engineering, construction. No, let me try. Let me put my hat in the ring. You lose 100% of the chances you don't take.
Hmm.
So I applied for the role, and then in a week I got a
You got
call. Hey,
called.
Kwankah, you know what? We have seen your profile, very impressed with your profile. Would you be open for an interview? I said, yes, of course, of course, of course. First round screening interview. Okay, good. Next round. I got the next round, and he was my hiring manager. Woof. This man was amazing. He still works at Starbucks. Amazing, amazing, amazing. That interview, Starbucks is the first company, and I work for a lot of companies. It, I came there so nervous, but it was a conversation.
Hmm.
It was truly a conversation. Because the company is so big on cultural fitness, and they are so big on people. Starbucks is so big on people, right? So they try to make sure that, yes, you have the technical skills or the competent skills to do the job, but are you actually a good fit, right? Are you part of that? Do you fit into that culture, right?
Hmm.
So I went through 5 rounds with
Wow.
Starbucks, but they were all great conversations. So I had an interview with the first recruiter, which was like the HR, and then I had the next one, my hiring manager, his boss, with a colleague, and then with a VP in the States, someone in the VP, right? And after all that, the week after, I think 2 weeks after, they were like, Kwankah, you know what? We like what you see, amazing. We are ready to give you an offer,
Oh,
right? They gave me an
finally.
offer. Yeah, they gave me an offer, and that was I think it was towards December, right? I thought,
That
man,
was
this
your
is the
Christmas
best.
gift.
This is my Christmas gift, man. Oh my God, December. Yes, finally, I say, you're gonna start in January. We're gonna do some background check, everything. I say, yeah, sure, 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 sure. They did that. I started January 3rd, the following year. I was so excited, man. Starbucks has been a company that I've been looking at for a long time.
Wow.
I've just always been curious about coffee, what they do, the way the company is. And yeah, I got my role. And then when I met my manager, I was like, but I said, I know that you guys got a lot of resumes, right? Why me? Right? And they're like, you know what, Kwankah, yeah, it's true. We had a lot of resumes. We had people who actually technically skilled better than you. Um, but your energy, the way you talk, your passion, right? You're coming into our analytics strategy and AI team. We support the business with analytics.
Hmm.
And when you talk about your experience, the way you talk about business, you actually get it, you kind of understand. And then the way you connect, the way you act, the way you do your mindset, it was the great fit for us.
Wow.
Yeah. So that
I
was
like
that was the
that. I
feedback.
like
Yeah.
you have a very interesting story, and thank you for sharing all that. I've learned a lot from your story, the importance of friendship. Look at
Yeah.
that mentorship that your friend provided for you at no
Yeah.
cost,
Yeah.
and that's what you're using right now to pay your bills, to
Yeah.
even do way more. And I'm excited about the fact that you've also gone ahead to start your own business,
Yeah.
empowering people, showing them how they can also transition.
Yeah.
And for Starbucks, Starbucks is one company I really admire. When I was
Yeah.
writing my book, in
Yeah.
fact, I dedicated a full chapter for Starbucks
Wow.
leadership style
Wow.
because they are very big on people.
Yeah.
It's different. It's just different from every other retail company.
Yeah.
When I was doing that research, I saw things that were mind blowing
Yeah.
for a typical retail or coffee company. And I'm like, oh wow. So what they provide for their employees, the kind of benefits that they have, amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I know someone working with Starbucks. So that's good. I also love the fact that you were able to ask questions and you decided that, you know what, I'm done with this life. I want something better. And despite the fact that you studied something very lucrative, something very, because engineering is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's one of the most lucrative professions in the world. So, and sometimes as humans, you just feel comfortable and you feel like you've done so much. Can there be anything better?
Mm.
So I love the fact that you were self-aware and you were able to decide that, you know what, I want to do something else. So thank you for sharing your story. I want you to talk about your business. You founded DataGap Analytics. So how has that been for you? You've mentioned a few times that you are business oriented, you love entrepreneurship, and I'm not surprised that you founded DataGap Analytics, and I feel like you will still do more in that entrepreneurship space. But talk to us about your company and what you guys offer and how the journey has been for you.
No, yes. Data Gap is quite interesting. Because the idea of Data Gap started when I was transitioning into tech. So I created a kind of persona of a consultant, right? That's how I was able to work with the retail, with the clothing line, my mom's business. I was building that consultant kind of mentality, coming here to make you make smarter decisions using your data, right? So I was looking at if a time comes where I leave Starbucks or I'm looking to go venture on my own, this is possibly where I'll be a consultant in this space, right? I also could understand that LinkedIn is something that it's very very important. So I started to start improve my visibility on LinkedIn, right? Maybe share my story on LinkedIn and try to build my just build my brand on LinkedIn. Um, so in my mind, Data Gap was something that hey, it's going to be a consulting company down the road. When I'm done corporate, it's time for me to go to the next phase of my career and I want to get my own business. But full time, Data Gap was the vision I had at the time for Data Gap. But a lot of my friends saw my journey, right? And when I shared my story with them, they were so inspired by it. So my mentor, he told me that don't pay me. The best payment you can give me is to help somebody else. So I did that. So I helped a couple of my friends land amazing jobs through data. Same principle. Encourage them, bootcamp. The same thing my mentor did to me, I passed that on to people. Now, when I started posting on LinkedIn, right? But I did that, it wasn't like a business, it was just me giving back. Thank you, right? I started posting on LinkedIn and sharing my story. And the DMs I got, Kwankah, I have been there. I am stuck. I am stuck. What do you do? I got amazing. I got a lot of attention on DM when I started sharing my immigration journey, my transition
Hmm.
journey, how I transitioned within 3 months, 9 months, and this, how I'm now at Starbucks. People were so inspired and they reached out to me, right? And I was like, guys, it's a hobby. It's I help. I can give you tips. Maybe once a week we'll meet up. But I realized that people wanted more accountability. They're like, I can pay for this. I said, oh, you can pay for this? Yeah, 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 no. Hey, Kwankah, I can pay for this. Like, if it's that you don't have the time and you're busy, you have your job, I know, and you've given me all these tools, and can you coach me? Can you mentor me in this space? I said, but I coach, I'm a soccer coach as well in Saskatoon. I do that. I've been a mentor. I like to lead. As a business, I don't know. I don't want to teach coding. I said, you don't need to teach me. I just need somebody like you who's gonna keep me accountable, call out my BS, and push me through this. I will pay for that. So you pay. Okay, all right. 2 grand, 2,000. Hey, yeah, sure. Oh, really? Okay. So that's how I got my first client. So I got my first client like that. I
Wow.
got my first client. He was like, yeah, I'm going to pay for it. I see the value in this. I'm going to pay. I just left Spain. I paid 10 grand to that boot camp and it's done nothing for me. Trust me. I need this. I need this. So I said, let me just test it with this guy. So I helped him out. Within 3 months, 4 months, he got a job. Hmm. Okay. I keep on doing. Another person came. I did that. Okay. Okay. So people were getting traction, getting interviews. Back in the day, people were applying for 1 year, no interviews. You come to me, I just help with your rebrand, your story, your connection, because I really know I really know how to connect your story, everything, and then people getting interviews, getting opportunities. And then I was like, Kwankah, I think it's time to finesse that vision. I think it's time to add a mentorship accelerator program, a data analytics, data science accelerator program into this business. So that is how I was able to create a data gap accelerator program,
Wow.
right? And in this program, what we do is we have two packages. So
Okay.
we have the package of people who are looking to change careers. They have no tech background. Maybe they're in social work, they're a nurse, they're a teacher, and they're moving to go to tech, right? So we have in that package we offer mentorship, training, and job support, right? So you come, you have exactly the same formula that I use, the same formula that was used for me, right? You come, you have you have lifetime access to our learning platform that has all the courses that you need, right? All I ask is that you commit 3 hours a day to learning, same like I did. So you replace a Netflix in your life into learning.
Hmm.
And then you assigned your own personal mentor. So all
Okay.
my students have their own personal mentor. You,
Interesting.
you meet with this mentor twice a week, right? And the key thing is this mentor is out to call out your BS, keep you accountable, and make sure that you follow through with the curriculum. You need that
Hmm.
push. It's the same thing I needed.
Accountability is important.
It's very, very important. So you do that for 10 weeks, you go through the program, you learn, we have weekly calls, we mix it up. So we do technical and non-technical. So we talk about LinkedIn, networking, resume building, imposter syndrome, all those things that are in the
Imposter
way.
syndrome, that's a very important topic.
Yes,
I'm glad you
yes.
guys added it to your curriculum.
Yes, you talk about
Yeah.
that, how to deal with rejections, how to deal with love letters, how to, all those things are in the program. Everything
Hmm.
that, because I went through the journey, I understand your pain points.
I
So
like that. I
I've
really like
incorporated,
that because
yeah,
you are approaching it from a different angle completely. You
yes,
are also, it's like you've created a, I'm looking for the right word. The right word is helping them to build mental muscle.
mm,
Because for a tip, I don't know how bad it is in Africa now, but
mm,
if you are really smart and maybe you make a good grade from school, it may be tough to get entry level role, but at some point you get some roles and you just keep moving on.
yeah,
When you come here, some of us come here even when we've become managers in our countries. So we come here as a manager, you now start applying for roles, you send resume 10, 50 to 100 times and nobody calls you.
yeah,
Yeah, it makes it very sometimes demotivating
yeah,
and you just lose the energy because I've seen people that have done different. programs. They've done
Mm-hmm.
business analysis, they've done project management, they've done data analysis. The point where they get stuck most of the time is at the point of getting a role. So
Mm.
what you guys have done, getting them accountability partners as mentors,
Yeah.
and also showing them how to manage their emotions when they
Yeah.
get all those
Yeah.
rejections,
Yeah.
it's a game changer. It
Yes.
is a game changer because I I feel like it's it's more than the entire technical skills you are providing.
Yes. Yes. And I know, I'm telling you, a lot of my students come like that. You know, you have a guy who was a bank manager in Nigeria. He's coming here now. The opportunities are warehouse.
Hmm.
I'm like, bro, I came with my family, my wife and kids, and I'm seeing a $20 an hour warehouse job.
That is
And
mentally stressful.
it's
It's
stressful.
emotionally draining.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right. So, and that is why I'm so motivated in what I do with this because I really want, especially new immigrants and people who are looking to change, there is an option out there. You don't necessarily have to go and spend a lot of money to do a master's, but when you do a master's, that is, you still come back in the same place, right? So our program, yes, we do all that stuff, and then we help you with the capstone project. We do project-based learning, and then when you graduate after 10 weeks, we don't let you go. We're like, no, we have a job board community. Now,
interesting.
this community is for people who are in the same boat. They want jobs, right? So in
Hmm.
that community, we apply jobs on your behalf. So I have a team that applies on your behalf for close to, within a month, you can apply close to 300 jobs for you, right? So we meet every week. So we meet every week on Saturdays, where as a community, talking about our wins, our frustrations, talking about the job market. If I see a job posting somewhere that I feel like people to apply, I put there. If I get a referral from my friends in companies that work that, like, you know what, I have a community, this job, I put referrals in there. So we talk about life and confidence and how to negotiate salary, how to connect, that is the community that we have for the
Beautiful.
post program support system. And then if you have an interview and you need extra practice, we have coaches available in that community as well. So if you get an interview, you're panicking, hey Kwankah, I don't know what to do. Give me a
Don't
call.
worry.
5 minutes. Hey now, Paul, you did the program. You can do this. What is going on? Why are you scared about opportunity? You can do it. Right. So I just give them that pep talk, that kick that they need, and then they go and they kill it. Right. And
You mentioned something, Kwaka. You mentioned that you are a soccer coach,
yes.
and I
Yes.
feel like that experience, you are transferring it to what you are
Yes.
doing right now.
Yes.
So you understand mindset
Yes.
more than the average career coach.
Yes.
And that is a big deal. That's a big deal. It's a big asset that you're bringing to the table.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I know the general struggle of an immigrant trying to transition into a new career.
Yeah.
And they will tell you, most of them will tell you that mindset, for those that have succeeded, I think mindset has played a major role in helping them to transition successfully. So I'm just excited. I'm really excited about your story because nothing comes to you as an accident. Nothing
Yeah.
happens to you in life as a mistake. I don't know if you got your coaching training for soccer, but look at what you're applying right now.
Yeah.
Your model is so structured, like from the beginning to the point where they get a job.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for you. I don't want to be like your advocate, but I love your model.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have some fantastic success rates.
Yeah. 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 We have the level of support that I give is hard not to succeed, especially
Hmm.
because a lot of the people that I work with are serious people. They're people that they've tried a lot of things and are frustrated, right? The one thing I tell you guys, hey guys, 100% interview guarantee. They're like, huh? I say, yeah, trust me, if you do, if you go to my program, and because I understand the market very well, I understand where you're coming from, I understand what employers are looking for. I work with recruiters that actually help make sure that we are up to standard with what is expected in the industry. You get an interview. If you don't get an interview, will stay here. We'll keep applying until you get an interviews. But for me, I've not really succeeded with an interview. I still want you to get that job. That is why you have success coaches in the job board to help you land that job, right? Um,
Amazing.
and that's what we do, right? And the next, and like you said, good point on the soccer coach. I've been coaching soccer for 10 years, right? in Saskatoon, I didn't mention at the time, Saskatoon, I founded a soccer club, and I used to go take the team to tournaments in Saskatchewan, Regina, Saskatoon. So that is where I took it. So because I've understood in my time in coaching that everybody has potential, right?
Hmm.
And people people get motivated differently.
True.
Once you find some players are motivated when you you tell them, great job, you're amazing, you are the star of the show, right? Some players are so players are motivated when you give them a tough time. That's not good enough. I know you can do better. Some other players are like, you know what, Master, what's happening? When you talk softly and calmly and you paint the picture of it, it's great. Some players will be like, guys, hey, we have some, ladies coming over. We're gonna have a lot of audience. Huh?
Hmm.
A lot of people coming, a lot of spectators, a lot of audience coming to watch our game. So I try to understand the psyche of all of my
Yeah.
players. So I really understand deeply. And up to now, I really established a bond with them. They've grown up, they're grown men now, some of them are married, they still call me coach. Because of how they still call me coach. I was like a mentor to them. I really helped them a lot in their careers and their soccer and all that stuff. So now I've transferred that into this. So if you
Into
come to
your
me,
coaching
into my
business.
coaching, if you come to me
Wow.
and I do a session with you and you tell me your problems. I'm new to Canada, kids, no money. I want to be like you tomorrow. I want to work remotely, travel to Cameroon and work from Cameroon, go to the US, work from Cameroon. I want to be like you. And then you do the program, and then halfway through, my mentor is telling me that, hey, Paul is not pulling his weight. I'll call Paul. Paul, I thought you told me that you want to be like me. I thought you say you want to be in Nigeria working. What are you doing? You can do better. When I
Hmm.
do that, they get up again. Because
Hmm.
that was me. That was me. Because you always fall when it's too hard, it's new, your body is thinking, you fall back. My mentor will remind me why I am doing what I'm doing. Show me his paycheck. That was very aggressive
Wow.
for you. Show
I
me his
love I
paycheck. How much
love that. I
yeah. So yeah.
thank you for sharing. We've been talking for almost an hour. This has been a
Mm,
very insightful conversation.
yeah.
One of the biggest takeaway for me is as a leader, it's very important to understand what motivates your team, not just
Yeah.
your team as a whole, but each individual in the team. Just like you mentioned that people get motivated differently.
Yeah.
So if you are able to identify what motivates everyone, you are going to do well.
Yeah.
And thank you for bringing that on. Thank you for talking about that. I can keep talking to you for the next 2, 3 hours, but I think this is a good time to like call it a day. But before I let you go, for people listening to you right now, or for someone listening to you right now, and it's like, I want to connect with Kwankah, how can they connect with you?
Yeah, the best way to connect with me is through LinkedIn. So
Okay.
Kwankah Taka, my name is so unique. You only see one
Nobody else
available.
beats
Yeah.
Kwankah Taka.
It's Kwankah Taka. You connect me on LinkedIn, message me. I'm very active on that platform. You can also connect me through Instagram too as well. Same name on Instagram.
Okay.
You can reach out to my website,
Awesome.
datagapanalytics.com/mentorship. Go to that website and you can book time with me there. I have a calendar link. Book time with me if you're looking to transition to data. Yeah, those three platforms will be able to. You can get time access with me.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you, Kwanka. I
yeah,
still have some questions before we call it a day. But if you've been enjoying this conversation and you've not subscribed to the Thriving Immigrant Podcast, please hit the subscription button. If you know someone that will benefit from this conversation, please share this episode with them so we can build a thriving community one day at a time. Thank you so much for your support. So, Kwanka, I wanted to talk about AI, but I know that
mm.
if I bring that if I bring that question, that topic up right now, we may speak again for another 30 minutes because I know you are
Yeah,
passionate about tech,
yeah,
AI, and the future.
yeah,
Maybe next time we will talk about data analytics and AI.
yeah, yeah.
I'm also very passionate about AI, and I don't want to start that conversation now.
Yeah.
So my last question would be, what is the most powerful piece of advice that you've received?
I know it's I've received a lot of uh, I've I think looking back and even now, I naturally I'd actually like to get wisdom. And the best way to get wisdom is from being self-aware and analyzing your past mistakes or your past
Hmm.
experiences. And the best advice that somebody just that everyone gave to me was just do it, man. Somebody who's analytical like me, I sometimes used to overthink things,
Hmm.
right? I will analyze it up right down to the nail, right? I had an opportunity in the paving construction industry. I analyzed that thing until
The
so my
opportunity went
till
away.
it went away. It went away, that's the one. That's the only opportunity that I regret today. That I should have even gone for it, even for like a year or two. Worst case
Hmm.
scenario, I was still very young. Bounce, go back. But from that experience, I've learned that done is better than perfect, right? If you're thinking about it, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
That and that has changed. That's why Data Gap is where it is right now, right? I thought about mentorship, accelerator. I'm doing it right now, and it is moving as very fast, right? Very fast. I didn't expect this kind of traction at this time. Yeah,
Just do it. That's
yeah,
profound. Thank you,
yeah.
Kwankah, for sharing. I know now when you're talking about it, I just remembered when I started my podcast, I listened to my first three episodes and I was like, wow, guy, you could have done better. But here we are.
Yeah, yeah.
Just do
Top six.
it. Every day is an opportunity to improve.
Yeah,
And you never know until you start.
yeah, yeah,
Thank you so much for sharing your time, for sharing your story with us on the Thriving Immigrant Podcast, Kwankah.
yeah,
I really enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed your story. I've learned a lot from your story.
yeah,
And on this note, I would say thank you. And for you listening to me right now, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing your time as well. And thank you for being a listener. So till I come your way again, stay thriving.